There are a number of affordable program options throughout the world.
Like many students who go abroad, I wanted to experience a new culture and a new academic environment.
I decided to start my post-graduation job search at the beginning of this year, but I needed a way to set myself apart from the rest of the pack.
Hi, I'm Erin. I'm a senior political science major and I studied abroad in Finland at the University of Tampere in Tampere, Finland in the spring semester of my junior year. Studying abroad was a new opportunity to learn about and live in a new government, travel extensively, live with international students, and learn about a culture of which I knew little about. While abroad, I adopted thrifty practices. I flew for cheap and stayed in hostels. I learned to budget my money, which allowed me to take a bus tour to Russia, a cruise to Sweden, and fly to Italy, all for less than it would have cost me to have a vacation in the United States. I went abroad through a bilateral exchange. A bilateral exchange is the most cost-effective way for in-state students to study abroad. I was able to pay my Virginia Tech tuition and fees and then pay room and board at my host university. Bilateral exchanges are not the only affordable way to go abroad. Students can also take advantage of direct enrollment, which allows you to pay tuition and fees to the host university. We recommend this for out-of-state students or in-state students looking to go to competitive places like Greece, the UK, or Australia. Students can also take advantage of the Virginia Tech faculty-led option. We recommend this program for students interested in taking classes with other Virginia Tech students. These are offered throughout the summer and throughout the year. Students may also want to consider non-Virginia Tech programs. We recommend these programs for those interested in having a tailored learning experience, like learning Italian in Italy or taking a semester at sea. There are a number of affordable program options throughout the world. Aside from the 20 countries that we offer bilateral exchange agreements in, once you incorporate non-VT, faculty-led, and direct, you can go to any continent in the world, including Antarctica.
Hi, my name is Brian Sarvin, and I studied abroad at the University of Newcastle in Newcastle, Australia. Like many students who go abroad, I wanted to experience a new culture and a new academic environment. Now, while Australia is very similar to Tech, it's still academically quite distinct.
For instance, here at Tech, I have weekly homework assignments, multiple tests, and my coursework is very practical and hands-on. Whereas in Australia, I had 1 or 2 homework assignments, 1 or 2 tests, and the classes were much more theoretically based.
So many students don't feel that they can study abroad because it will put them behind on their coursework, their classes won't transfer back, or they aren't fluent enough in a foreign language. Now, if I can study abroad, so can you.
The secret to my success was that I planned my classes early in my academic career and visited the Education Abroad office repeatedly. Once I decided which university I was going to study at, I researched online for class information and met with my advisor on a regular basis. During my visits with my advisor, I discussed things like how classes would transfer back to count towards my degrees and which prerequisite courses I needed to take abroad so that way I would not be behind when I returned.
When I first decided I wanted to study abroad, I was worried that I wouldn't be able to find classes, so initially I planned to take general university credit.
However, once I learned of all the programs offered by Virginia Tech, I quickly found many options that offer classes that I could take.
In the end, I managed to take 3 in-major classes and 1 general class, all of which gave me a unique perspective on how Australians learn the same materials we do here at Tech. Since I've returned, I've talked with many different students from many different majors, and they were all able to find programs tailored to their degree. So finally, for those students who wish to take classes in a country where English isn't the primary language.
Many students might automatically assume that it is impossible to study abroad in these countries without a strong foreign language background. In most countries where Tech has programs, however, there are ways to take classes in English. Some of the possible areas where you can take classes in English are Mexico, Scandinavia, South Africa, and Hong Kong. For those students who do wish to take classes in a foreign language, the Education Abroad office recommends that you achieve at least a 3000 level proficiency in that language. These guidelines aren't used to discourage students, but rather ensure that they get placed in a program where they have a positive learning experience.
J'aime bien la Bourgogne. Le vin est toujours bon en Bourgogne et les escargots avec le...
So don't let reasons like thinking you'll fall behind in your coursework, you won't be able to find classes abroad, or you're not fluent enough in a foreign language prevent you from studying abroad. Tech offers so many different options that you will find a program that's right for you.
Hi, my name's Kara Mullen, and I'm a senior in civil engineering. I studied abroad at the University of New South Wales in Sydney, Australia. Like most seniors, at the beginning of this year, I decided to start my post-graduation job search, and I needed a way to set myself apart from the rest of the field. I realized I had this great international experience, but I wasn't sure how to market it to potential employees, so I went to Career Services for help. So since I studied abroad in Australia, how do you think I can market that to employers to help me get started on my career path?
Well, you have a lot of opportunities available to you in your job search, especially doing a study abroad opportunity. You're one of 5% of American college students that go off and do study abroad. It is a unique opportunity that employers do look for, especially when they look at a resume. To see study abroad, it's almost a red flag for them that this is someone I really want to talk to. You want to make sure that if you're looking for international or national jobs that you're using that to sell yourself. Well, based upon what I've told you about transferable skills, what do you feel that you've picked up from your experience that you can market to an employer?
Well, I was definitely really independent when I went. I went to a whole new country by myself, and I had to adapt to some really interesting circumstances and situations.
Right, and you want to make sure that since that's a selling point for you, that when you write your resume or your cover letter, you're in an interview, you want to make sure that that's what you're focusing on.
Using the advice I gained from Career Services, I was able to translate my time abroad into a usable skill set during an interview. My interviewer was very impressed that I was able to thrive in a new place all by myself. He was interested in how I adapted to different engineering practices and classroom settings. My education abroad experience definitely helped me get a leg up on the competition and gain post-graduation employment. So use your abroad experience to your advantage by making yourself a more marketable potential employee and getting started in your career.